Calorific effects can only be found in Nutrition Authority. For store info, visit mynutritionauthority.com.
The place you call home should always be a place of comfort. Warm and cozy in winter, cool and relaxing in summer. If your home isn't delivering the comfort you expect, call Bryant. It's more than just hot and cold to them. It's about providing the best comfort solutions. And Bryant gives you a full 24-month test drive on your home comfort system. Get full details at BryantLincoln.com or call 467-1111. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. Bryant, whatever it takes.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
Bagels and Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in January. Try their hot chocolate latte, cookie croissants, and special winter flavor hot cocoa cream cheese on any bagel. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward, Bagels and Joe.
Hey, this is Jay Foreman, the host of Old School, 3 to 6 p.m. here at 93.7 The Ticket. And one of my favorite things to do is come down and meet all the fans before and after as they cheer on our beloved Huskers.
This message is brought to you by the Downtown Lincoln Association and 93.7 The Ticket.
Lincoln's go-to for fun isn't new. It's a place that's been a staple of the city for years and is only getting better. Matson's Bowling and Billiards always has open bowling available with no long lines, unlike other centers. They have live music almost every weekend and great food at EJ's Bar and Lounge, with seating for 150 people. They have popular meals like the EJ Burger, pizza for the whole family, and famous EJ's Wings. Contact Sarah to book a party for friends, coworkers, or family at Matson's Bowling and Billiards, just south of 48th and Holdridge.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the 93.7 The Ticket studio. From the heart of Lincoln, America, this is What's Next 24 with the authors of Next 24.
All right, welcome in. Happy Sunday. Harrison Arns on the 1s and 2s. As always, you guys are always welcome to join in. 402-464-5685. That is the Sartor Heyman text line. Facebook, YouTube, X, Owl, Channel 961. All great ways to put a face to the voice. And I think I hear a little bit out. We got a headset just cranked up all the way over there. Is that what I'm hearing? Okay, no worries here. You guys won't hear it on the airwaves. We'll check that out later. But nonetheless, we got the hosts as always, Mike and Sherry. And you guys are welcome to join in, like I said.
Harrison, we're so glad to have you back.
Yeah, welcome back. Glad to have you.
Yes, we missed you. Nick, don't get me wrong. Nick was great, but we missed you.
Yeah, shout out to Nick Stainer for helping me out.
Well, good morning. Welcome to What's Next with Mike and Sherry. We're excited to bring exciting stories that matter most. Again, I'm Mike along with
Sherry.
And together we'll bring you engaging conversations with special guests, expert advice, and a sneak peek at what's coming next in your world. Sherry, I'm always excited to have our guest. Why don't you introduce who we have in studio today?
Well, we were excited the first time, but we're super excited the second time because today on What's Next with Mike and Sherry, we are thrilled to welcome Mr. John Baylor. John is the founder of On to College, a program that's helped thousands of students across the country improve their ACT and their SAT scores, earn scholarships, and successfully navigate the college admission process. What started as a small tutoring initiative has grown into a nationally recognized program that has changed the lives of students and families for more than 2 decades. That's a long time. John is also the voice, as well as a lot of you know, John is also the voice of Nebraska volleyball, calling every big match for the Lady Cornhuskers, including multiple national championship games. His energetic play-by-play and deep knowledge of the game have made him a trusted and beloved voice for fans across Nebraska for over 25 years. He's a Lincoln native. He has an incredible dedication to both education and sports, and he's left a lasting mark on our community, helping students reach their dreams, keeping fans on the edge of their seats every season. And we would like you to join us in welcoming John Baylor to the show. And we are just so pumped about this for 1,000 different reasons.
Well, Sherry, Mike, with that introduction, I'll just keep coming back.
We want you
I'm
back.
telling you, we'd have you every
want you
week
back.
if we could. I mean, besides all that, you guys, he was like on KLIN for a while.
point,
And I mean, if you don't know John Baylor, you haven't been here for very long. But the exciting part of this whole thing is congratulations so much. I don't know. I hope everybody watches the news and reads the newspapers. And
Yeah, before we start, John, let's just talk about you got voted Broadcaster of the Year.
yes,
Very gratifying because it's voted on by our sportscasting peers. And so I was just really touched that this year, not only somebody nominated me, but a lot of people voted for me. And it took me totally by surprise. So thank you all who voted. And then this showering of affection I've received via social media, et cetera, has felt really good.
Well, you certainly deserve it. And as I was teasing you earlier, I like to refer you to as Mr. Volleyball.
Oh,
I do. I think I get a joy of every time of listening. John, let's just jump in. And I know we covered a lot, or you've mentioned a lot, but for the people that don't know, give us a little bit about your background.
Well, I grew up in Lincoln, Nebraska. I was born at the old Lincoln General Hospital. My mother left my dad age 4, took us to Massachusetts. We lived there, my 2 brothers and I, with her till the end of 2nd grade. Wasn't feeling well. And so we came back to live with my dad in Nebraska. That was the end of 2nd grade for me, all the way through the end of 5th grade. And then she was much better then. And I alone went back and lived with her and ultimately went to high school in the Boston area. So that's why I say I'm kind of from Lincoln and Boston. Mm-hmm. And then college, I went to Stanford and went to work in banking for a couple of years, decided it wasn't for me. I think it's really important in your 20s to try things that you think you might enjoy. And ultimately you find your color in the rainbow, but it's almost as important to check boxes off that you thought were going to really get you excited, but really aren't your passion. And so then I tried to be an actor. You can see how that turned out in Los Angeles. And then I came back to Lincoln, Nebraska to chase sportscasting. And here I am, 34 years later.
Well, it's been amazing. As much as I want to talk sports and volleyball, let's jump in though onto college. The history, why did you do this in the early beginning? I know was it a part-time gig?
Absolutely. Well, I was trying to be an actor in Los Angeles and I wasn't exactly paying my bills and I didn't want to fast. So to ensure that I could keep a roof over my head and to eat, I started this program called On to College, and I prepared kids for the SAT. It was out in Los Angeles. And so it was a survival job. Everyone needs one if you're trying to be an actor. I was a failed waiter. I mean, I was an okay waiter, right. But I spilled drinks one day and they fired me. And then I was a very successful telemarketer that did not like it. And then I found tutoring, and that led me to SAT preparation.
What was your mindset for saying, you know what, I think this would be a lucrative program. I think this would be something I'd like to do. Let me help these kids get ready for these tests.
Well, it was always a means to support my then acting and ultimately sportscasting habit. So it was always an avocation, and my vocation was going to be this highly celebrated actor or sportscaster. And when I came back to Nebraska, I thought, okay, I'm just going to focus on sportscasting. Let's just go for it. But I was at the time making $1,200 a month and then $75 a game. And I thought, Lincoln's a lot less expensive than LA, but not that much less expensive. I really loved this test preparation business I had going in Los Angeles. I had 6 people working for me at one point. And I thought, why don't I go around and ask some high schools if they'd be interested in having me in housing the program. And I'd come on weekends or weeknights and teach it and see who showed up. And Lincoln Pius X was actually the first school that took me up on it.
Wow.
And it was just once a year in April. And again, it was just a little bit of extra revenue, but I loved it. I love to perform. I love to entertain, and I love to motivate. And, one of the greatest tragedies, I think, is unrealized human potential. And when you see these kids and they're young and they're impressionable, and I loved being a teenager, and it's such a great age because you're not too cynical yet, and you're not too formed in your ways. You're still a little bit of a malleable piece of clay, and you just get the right wrestling coach or the right calculus teacher or the right ACT prep teacher. Maybe it takes that little flicker and throws some gasoline on it. And next thing you know, you're really chasing something of passion. And of course, if you're interested in something, you're much more likely to approach your potential. So that just got me excited. And what was an avocation ultimately turned into a vocation. I flipped it and I became a part-time sportscaster and a full-time test preparation.
John, let me ask you, we've had a couple shows on lately of just about entrepreneurship. So I'm curious to go down, if you don't mind, what was the business plan for you when you put it down on paper? What did you have a plan, like a business plan for this?
Ultimately, I had to have a business plan, but I came into it thinking I do not want to bring in other investors. I want to have full ownership of this, and so I had to bootstrap this. Well, a service industry is a great thing to bootstrap because you don't need a big old warehouse, you don't need a lot of big machines, you don't need to borrow a bunch of money. So it was largely my own brain power that made this happen. And I worked for peanuts initially, and then ultimately things started rolling a little bit. But the business plan was survival and serve this larger goal of being a national sportscaster or an actor. And ultimately, I had an idea that I would go be a teacher, a teacher at a high school and coach. And I just thought that'd be a wonderful life. I always knew that I wanted a life full of purpose and relationships, and teaching embodies that. Teaching done well is full of great, important relationships, but also purpose. There's not a lot of professions out there where you wake up in the morning and you can truly change lives. So I just ultimately thought I'd be a high school teacher eventually, but what was the rush? I was only 25 at the time. I could do that at age 30. So I thought I'd keep chasing these dreams. And in the interim, this business came about. And ultimately, I did have to put together a business plan. And the goal was to become a national impact. Because again, I think a lot of test preparation, certainly at the time and to this day, they require 40 hours a week to prepare for this test. And they have huge books of curriculum. I brought our ACT curriculum here. It's 8 pieces of paper, and that's by design. Because if you want to definitely intimidate someone, give them a lot of material and give them 40 hours. I remember one reason I got into this back in Los Angeles. I met a student who actually went to Beverly Hills High School, and he said he quit the swim team so he could prepare for the SAT. And I thought, okay, I got to get into this, because that's the exact opposite approach. So we synthesize everything to the bare minimum with the biggest impact. The entire course is about 12 and a half hours. You do all the homework, it might take you another 4.5 hours. It's all online now. You can do all of it in about 15 hours. And I'm really proud of that, because the minimum amount of commitment I know of among our competitors is 40 hours. These are busy kids headed to 4 and 2 year colleges. They don't have that kind of time.
Let me ask you, for the people that don't know, that have young children, what's the history of the test? Why do kids have to take this test? Because I'm sure people want to know. I'm sure kids ask you, why do I have to take this test?
I say, don't shoot the messenger.
Yeah.
We do this because we want some sort of objective measure. Objective measure of what? Your acumen on a certain day in math, in grammar, in reading, and then in data interpretation, also called science. That's the ACT test. And then on the SAT, we want your a snapshot on a single day of your acumen for reading and writing, largely grammar, but also literature, reading a paragraph and comprehending it or not, and then math. And last time I checked, the world's going to hold you accountable for that content. We're not doing kids any favors if we don't necessarily hold them accountable when they're younger. And so we've gone now through a period of time really triggered by COVID when schools went test optional. And that meant, hey, not only will we accept you without a test score, we are going to give scholarships based on just your GPA. And we've learned the lessons from that in college after college after college, and have gone back to requiring the test, and then scholarship after scholarship after scholarship has gone back to saying at least we're test preferred. Why? Because what they found is, for example, the University of California, San Diego did a study, and 1 out of 7 students is not capable of basic high school math, and 1 out of 11 students is not capable of middle school math. And University of California, San Diego is a selective public university. This is a school that rejects about 60% of its applicants, and the kids who got in are 1 out of 10 can't do, 1 out of 11 can't do middle school math, so they can't do 4x plus 3 equals 7. And then 1 out of 7 can't do high school math. So you can't do any of the STEM fields, for example. And what they've done is they've created this blue ribbon committee who've called a crisis. Basically, this is urgent and this is a national story. And they've attacked this issue, and they've got all these remedial classes for all these kids. That's what you get when you don't have objective measure.
Let me ask you a question. We're hearing so much, everybody's hearing so much. AI, AI, AI. I mean, I know actual kids that are like, they're not turning in their work. Well, I'm just going to get on AI and do it. And
Absolutely. You're not doing
don't
yourself.
Don't get me on this soapbox. But how is this going to start affecting the ACT scores, the SAT scores?
Well, it makes them more relevant, because when you go take an ACT, you're not able to go access any support elsewhere. It's just your brain and that question. And can you handle it?
Yeah.
And AI is changing the world. There's no question about it. But increasingly, colleges, which have a finite amount of slots for freshmen, dorm room beds, and a finite amount of scholarships, have to make some decisions about who is most worthy. And with AI, you're not really sure who writes those essays, if you ever were. And, grades are off the charts, especially with, COVID. I think now the pendulum's swinging back a little bit, and our high schools are digging in and saying, whoa, I'm not sure all these kids deserve A's. Anyway, what else can these schools lean on in objective measure? So AI just amplifies the relevance of an ACT or an SAT score.
Yeah, because there's no, you use AI, you're not using any creativity. You're not using any of your brain power. You're not learning anything.
Yeah. These students who are cheating and using AI are doing themselves no favors. And we're not doing any favors if we enable it. Look, I'm sure there are moments when you want to teach how to use AI. That would be a great project for 3 weeks, perhaps in a class. But otherwise, if I were teaching high school English, blue books only, no take-home essays, sit down, grab a pen, and tell me about what you read in Huckleberry Finn
like the teacher
last week.
I used to teach myself at high school, and
Really?
the kids would talk to me a lot about, there was such a wide gap from the time a high school senior graduates from high school and then they get into college. They suffer, they struggle. Many, not all, but many.
What do you mean there's a gap?
Prepared. You know, when you
think you're prepared to get to college, like, whoa, there's so many fewer adults here to support me. Sure. Big classes.
I'm a 17, 18-year-old kid out of high school. School might've been easy for me at that point. Now, all of a sudden I go to college. No one's going to tell me when I have to go to class.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's looking over my shoulder. It's kind of a party time, freshman year, distractions.
Look, between 2 and 4 year colleges nationwide, only 55% of those who start ever finish.
Yeah. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
45% never do.
So, John, where I'd like to go with you is, I say I'm a student, and I'm thinking I want to get a scholarship, or I want to go to school, or my parents are going to pay for college. How do you remember when those first children came to you? Were you surprised? Like, were they maybe not prepared, not mentally ready to start? What was that first class like, is what I want to know.
Back in Los Angeles?
Yeah.
That was a bunch of wealthy children who wanted to go to selective colleges. So I was just helping affluent kids get an even bigger advantage. One extremely gratifying part of our company, On to College, and I have about 20 fabulous people that work with me, is that we work primarily with schools. And we work primarily with just good, solid Nebraska kids who come in with 22s and they want to get a 26. They can go to Wayne State for free tuition. They come in with 23s and they want to get a 28. So they can get free tuition at Kearney plus $2,000 a year for housing. They want to get a 32 so they can go to UNL or UNK for free tuition. These are just good, solid bedrock kids who want to do their families a favor so that there's enough money for the younger sister and younger brother to also attend college. Sure, we got plenty of wealthy kids who want to go to Princeton, but the bedrock of our business is helping
Yes.
Wisner Pilger High School and helping Laurel Concord and helping Okalika High School in Alabama. We work with more than 500 high schools in 29 states.
So how did you get the message? I mean, that's really important, but kids, 18-year-olds don't probably think about that at the time. And so how do I know that I need to come to John Baylor's On to College course?
Well, it depends if you have dreams. A lot of 17-year-olds don't have formulated dreams, but if those dreams somehow could involve either getting a 4-year college degree or a 2-year college degree, the best paying job you'll ever have is jumping that score. But it's my job to help the adults in their lives understand that message and then share it. And then when I get their ears and eyes and attention, I share it as well. And I just gave some examples in Nebraska, but for example, in the state of Arkansas, you just get a 21. You can go to Arkansas Pine Bluff for free. I mean, this is a state with a higher poverty rate than most.
Mm-hmm.
This is your ticket. The greatest economic trampoline the world's ever known. It's called the American education system. And that test score clarifies exactly your preparedness for college. Again, there's a finite amount of scholarship money available for these young students. And a lot of them come from disadvantaged backgrounds. You just get a 22 or higher. You are then clearly college ready, according to reams and decades of data put together by the ACT. A 22 or higher and you're eligible for free and reduced lunch. It's a different future because now college after college typically is going to meet whatever your need is. And often your need surpasses just free tuition. Now you're getting help with food, books, dorms. This score is an incredible opportunity. It's not a burden. It's not something the man or we adults have like thrust at young people to make their teen years miserable. No, it's an unbelievable economic trampoline and an escape hatch if they come from a situation they want to get out of.
So let's jump in. Take us through the process. How do we find out about you and how do we enroll and how does the class begin?
Well, we call it ontocollege.com. And if you can hear my voice, it's probably because you're in Eastern Nebraska and you can take the course live in the evenings.
Mm-hmm.
Sandhills Global, fabulous Lincoln employer, more than 800 employees just in Lincoln, Nebraska, and another 1,000 all over the world, allows us to use their education space, which is fabulous. And we teach it here in Lincoln. And kids drive sometimes up to 2 hours to take the course. And it's 5 2.5-hour sessions. We also offer it at Millard North for the Omaha area. And that's the live version. But years ago, we put it, thanks to this invention called the internet, on our website. And you can buy a 1-year site license, or you can just buy a boot camp site license. This takes you up to the next ACT. And now you have our asynchronous course. It's kind of like ESPN graphics. I'm standing in front of a camera. My colleagues who teach math and science standing in front of a camera. And it's the recorded version of the live course. Now you can watch it whenever you want. You can be anywhere in the world. So you have multiple options. And also, if you want the live version of the class, but you can't get there, we simulcast it. So we have kids from all over the world who, Long Island, Brooklyn, Los Angeles, who watch the live version of the class originating right here from Sandhills. So there's lots of different options.
So what's the tell us when you tell to the student, I'm sitting there. Oh, I got to get a score. Tell us your pitch. What's the expectation?
Well, the expectation is you're going to reciprocate our energy. You got to dig in. You can't just sit back and just expect to be served and your score is going to go up 5 points. You've got to dig in. I'm biased, obviously, but I think we have the secret sauce. And so if you dig in, we'll teach you all the grammar you're going to need in life, not to mention on the ACT within an hour.
Mm-hmm.
We'll teach you all the math you're going to need on the ACT within about 2.5 hours. You learn how to do the science questions, the reading questions very efficiently and very effectively. You've got to dig in. I'm going to really push you, and it's very fast paced. You got to take care of the hour or so of homework between sessions. But if you do all that, our average score increase is about 3 points.
Now, how does there's a lot of, I don't know about Lincoln, but there's some high schools in Omaha that offer these accelerated programs from when these kids start as freshmen. I have 2 granddaughters, one that did this and the other one that is in the process. But by the time they get done with high school, they've already got a 2-year associate's degree.
Yeah, those are called dual credit classes.
Thank you. I didn't know the name of it.
Miller South is an example of a school where you just
Yes,
get
that's where they go.
The dual credit program.
Yes.
You get an associate's degree, basically the equivalent of like a Metro community college or Southeast Community College degree on your high school graduation day.
Right.
And college after college will accept those credits. I heard a student who came out of Millard South, went to Notre Dame, started effectively as a junior. Now, some things to think about. at least here in the state of Nebraska, you have to be a freshman equivalent to qualify for their biggest scholarships. So you got to be a little careful about accumulating too many degrees so that you start as a second-year student. It might make you ineligible. Check out the details. But what a nice problem to have. Typically, dual credit, though, creates much more many more future-focused students who do even better and are more motivated in school because they realize here's yet another pathway to minimize the time and cost of this life-changing 2 or 4 year degree.
So they still have to take the ACTs and the SATs.
Well, in the state of Nebraska, it's a mandate. I mean, the legislature years ago decided, look, we want all students to take this just as a measure of what progress they've made during high school, just to see how they've done at their schools. But also, you get a higher percentage of kids who want to go to 2 and 4 year colleges by taking the score. Some kids just assume they're not good enough, they're not strong enough. And then next thing you know, they pop a 23 on the test and colleges are throwing money at them. Well, okay, hold everything. It changes everything. And look, some people might be thinking, well, hey, we're in an age of skepticism regarding college. Look, yeah, if I had to pay $100,000 to, send my kid to Bennington University in Southern Vermont, I'd probably say no, even if I had it. But look, this cultural skepticism, surrounding a 4 year degree is absurd. I mean, it's exactly what Beijing would want, that Americans would doubt the transformative impact of a 4 year engineering degree here at UNL. Are you kidding me? A 4 year degree from the Carson School of Design. Are you kidding me? I mean, this is exactly how many 18-year-olds are prepared to start their own companies, are prepared to become viable employee candidates? Some, but the vast majority of us, we need a little more time, especially young men, need a little more time to mature and be ready. Get into those STEM classes, get into those humanities classes, and you're going to be much more equipped to compete. How do I know? On average, over a lifetime, a 4 year college graduate makes 75% more income. And that's just one measure, but there's so many others.
Well, John, I know we're going to have to take a break in a minute, but I want to go back to I'm that 18-year-old kid. I want to know what's in it for me.
As a parent?
As a student, when I do this, what's going to be in it for me?
Oh, you're going to have fun. We'll crack a bunch of jokes. And you're going to have this jolt of self-confidence. Look, so many young people are intimidated. Anxiety is rampant in this culture. Put away your phones, by the way. That'll help you even more than on to college.
Thank you.
But I'll give you more specifics. We come right back.
Do we need to? Yeah, we want to take a break here, but I want to ask, because John brought up a point. I want to know about those parents that are stressed out.
Oh, they'll love the savings.
All right. We'll be back in just a minute with John Baylor. Just a minute.
At Parkview Animal Hospital in Lincoln, it's not just their professional care that sets them apart, but their warm staff and state-of-the-art facilities. Whether it's for a routine checkup or a comprehensive medical procedure, at Parkview, your pet isn't just another number, but a valued member of their caring family. Visit them at pahlincoln.com today and in person just south of 14th and Pine Lake Road. Parkview Animal Hospital, your pet, their passion for happier, healthier, furry friends.
If you're tired of the dieting circuit paradox but still want to look, feel, and perform better, you need to get to Nutrition Authority and ask about our nutrition coaching featuring LifeBase. LifeBase takes a complex world of nutrition and makes it simple with real results that last. Stop in to learn more or check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
Things that impair you come in many different shapes and sizes. Some are the shape of beer and liquor bottles. Others look like cigarettes but aren't cigarettes at all. These are the things we know impair us, the things our parents warned us about. What we're not always aware of is our new prescription or the over-the-counter medicine we picked up just for allergies or a bad cold. See, it doesn't just matter how much of a substance you take. If you are impaired, driving is deceptively dangerous. Don't drive impaired. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Rico here with HIS Auto Care at 70th and Van Dorn, letting you know HIS is a great place to bring your vehicle for service. With superior service bumper to bumper, we'll treat your vehicle like it's your mother's. Doesn't get any better than that. So call 402-488-8934 and HIS Auto will make you glad you did. 5% off, mention this ad, and for sure your mother will be proud you called. 402-488-8934, HIS Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Hi, I'm Scott Miller, Business Development Officer at Midwest Bank's Lincoln branches. As a lifelong Lincolnite with over 30 years of experience in financial management, I'm here to help your business grow and succeed. My focus is building strong relationships with businesses and clients across Lincoln. Because at Midwest Bank, we believe banking is about people, not just numbers. Visit us at midwest.bank or stop by one of our Lincoln locations. Your community, your bank. Midwest Bank. Member FDIC.
At Jimmy John's, we don't make sandwiches. We make the sandwich of sandwiches. We use fresh veggies because we don't hate salads. We just feel bad for them. We make our sandwiches exactly how you want because you're the one who's eating it. And we bake bread all day, every day because stale bread isn't bread. It's croutons. Sandwich history is written by the victors. Good thing we have legible handwriting. Jimmy John's, the sandwich of sandwiches. Order pickup or delivery on the app.
All right, fellas, it's January. You're setting goals, you're hitting the gym, but have you checked what's going on inside the engine? At Advanced Medical Imaging, the Wellness Within program makes it easy. They have different levels of preventive scans so you can choose exactly what fits your health goals. From quick baseline checks to full body insights. It's simple, it's smart, and it's all about keeping you in top form before problems ever sneak up. And the best part, you don't need a doctor's order. Just call AMI to schedule and make this the year you put your health on the schedule.
Anderson Ford in Lincoln has 2 convenient locations, which means 2 times the customer service, 2 times the inventory, and 2 times the ability to get you in the car of your dreams. Whether you visit us on the north side or the south side, you'll find more selection and a team that's always on your side. When you're looking for a better way to buy your next Ford, visit Anderson Ford in Lincoln, where exceptional service meets unbeatable selection.
Bauer Underground has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know that the best workers in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and a pedigree of success. They're offering top-notch benefits, a matching 401k, and a $600 per year clothing allowance. Bauer Underground, a family-friendly company with plenty of room for advancement.
Bagels & Joe is the perfect place for breakfast or lunch in January. Try their hot chocolate latte, cookie croissants, and special winter flavor hot cocoa cream cheese on any bagel. 4 locations in Lincoln and 1 in Seward, Bagels & Joe.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24.
All right, welcome back in. What's Next 24, segment number 2. You guys are welcome to join in via the streams of the Sarda Heyman text line. We do got one from Pete Ferguson. Says, congratulations on the recognition, John. Well-deserved and earned. Appreciate you as always. And you guys can join in as always as well. I'll throw it back over to the host.
Welcome back. We're with John Baylor talking about On to College. On to College helps tens of thousands of students improve their ACT and SAT scores. Students can often see their ACT scores increase up to 1 to 3 points. SATs jump to 50 to 150 points. The program offers over 600 high schools across 29 states. John, it's quite a bit amazing. I want to go back to where we left off. I'm a stressed out parent. I've got Johnny over here. He desperately needs to increase his scores. I can't pay for that college. What am I going to do?
Lower the cost. How do you lower the cost? Jump that ACT score. It's the best paying job ever. Just college after college will throw money at students based on higher GPAs and higher ACT or SAT scores. And then if you're qualified for free and reduced lunch, it has an even greater impact because now you're going to qualify for what's called need-based aid. So prepare hard. The ROI on the time and money you spend on preparing for these tests is so worth it. Look, only 20%, 1 out of 5 students get a 25 or higher on the ACT. And only 36% of America's high school students take the ACT. Now it's about the same for the SAT. So now we're talking about, 20% of 72%. So you're talking about like 15% of the high school students are scoring 25s and higher, and the equivalent on the SAT. Those are the coveted kids by colleges. Join the 20%.
John, I've got a question for you because, of course, it's been a long time since I went to college, but I hear parents talk a lot now that, boy, college costs have just skyrocketed. I might want to send my child to a Southeast Community College or do an internship or an apprenticeship. Do you get questions like that thrown at you?
Absolutely. The trades are a great choice. We might be called on to college, but we're really trying to motivate kids who are heading to the trades and headed to the military. We're really onto the trades and onto the military as well. And we show how that higher score helps those students as well. But look, the next unemployed electrician is the first. In Omaha, Nebraska, age 23, if you're a journeyman electrician, you're making $100,000 a year at least. So those are great paths as well. A higher ACT score can help, higher GPA can help. You go into the military, you get a 24 or higher. You can go ROTC. Now college is paid for, and you enter the military as an officer, not enlisted, an officer, totally different pay rate, totally different experience. Just the employer happens to be the same. And of course, if you go to a 2 or 4 year college, it's the best paying job you can ever have. Now, we have fabulous 2-year colleges in the state of Nebraska, some of the best in the country. And if you go to Southeast Community College, it'll cost you like $5,000 a year. Now you're living at home, so it's a different kind of experience. Whereas if you go to UNL, you get free tuition. It's getting sort of comparable. But it's a very different experience. It's a 24/7 residential experience. It's not anything that resembles, shouldn't at least, an extension of high school.
So higher ACT and SAT scores are going to make the difference even in the difference of how much of scholarship you actually get if you get a scholarship.
It's huge. Look, some scholarships are technically test optional, meaning you do not need to submit a score to win it, but an unsubmitted score is assumed to be a low score. There's that. Secondly, the vast majority of students who win those scholarships submit a score, and it's a strong score. So you want to win scholarships, merit scholarships. Preparing hard for that test and doing well on that test is your fastest way to get the money. Of course, a GPA certainly helps as well. Those are the 2 best paying jobs a kid can ever have. So there's a correlation between higher scores and the money. And you're thinking, why? What's the big deal? Well, there's all this data that shows if you get a score of 22 or higher on the ACT, you are college ready. The likelihood of you not just starting college, but finishing successfully is dramatically higher. There are plenty of kids who get 18s and 19s who do well. You've really got to be a self-starter because historically speaking, the likelihood of graduating is much, much lower if you get a 21 or lower. Those students probably should be strongly thinking about a 2-year college, where the stakes are lower, the cost is lower. Do 1 or 2 years, realize college is for you, and then finish up at a 4-year college potentially. Whereas if you get a 22 or higher, I mean, you're college ready. You may choose for financial reasons to start at a less expensive place, but you've got it. And based on historical data, your likelihood of graduating is much higher. So those colleges look to the scores as an indicator of the likelihood of Billy having success upon arrival.
John, I've got a question. How do you improve their scores? How do you do this? What have you learned that you know that works?
Well, it needs to be efficient because we're so distracted. You got to get right to it. You got to grab their attention. You got to be motivated. I don't just start right in on geometry or grammar. I explain to them how this is the best way to catch dreams. And we're in the dream catching business. So you go from an 18 to a 27, you're catching dreams now. Your future options are just dramatically different. So you need motivation. You need to be efficient. You got to be engaging. I mean, these kids have options. They can reach into their pocket and start watching whatever they want.
Can you share some success stories? I know you mentioned we were off there for just a minute. You say people recognize you now. You say you got a cab ride. I heard that somebody that recognized you.
Well,
share this a little bit.
The online version of our course is used by more than 500 high schools in 29 states. Well, I basically cast myself in my own movie. And so if you see somebody
perfect role
on TV,
perfect role.
You're like on a screen, like, oh, that guy must have credibility. And then, some students think I'm a little eccentric and crack a bunch of jokes, but that's part of it. You just can't be straight. There's just not many kids who are just going to sit there and listen to a droning explanation, regardless of how accurate it might be regarding the Pythagorean theorem. You've got to have fun with it. You got to crack jokes. You got to bring in other things and make them think, oh yeah, wow, that's cool. Oh yeah, I'm getting it. And there's nothing more exciting for the human brain than learning new information.
Harrison, would you be able to pull up the website on the college? But it's not only you, John. I'd like to promote too. You have a team of people now.
Absolutely.
Share
They're
some
fabulous.
Talk about your team.
So we've got a product development team. They help put together the content itself. So every year we update the ACT course, we update the SAT course, we update the additional prep that kids can use beyond the course itself. We do refresher courses. These are truncated versions of the course for kids who've already been through the whole course, so now they want to refresh prior to a subsequent taking of the ACT or the SAT. So there's a lot of content to create. Plus, we do full college and career counseling. So we call it college and career readiness because our counselors, our school counselors, our fabulous high school counselors are overwhelmed. They have so many other tasks. They spend at most 20% of their time on actual college counseling. When I anecdotally ask them, it's typically 1 to 3 hours a week spent on college counseling. It's on all this social emotional stuff and helping kids sign up for classes. So we do college and career readiness as well because we want to make sure that these higher scores that these kids get leveraged into the best fit colleges at the lowest cost. So we have product development, then we have sales. We got to contact all these high school principals and high school principals and superintendents and persuade them, hey, we're all in this to help kids. Best way to help a kid is if he walks in at 8 a.m. to school on a Tuesday, takes an ACT and jumps a score of 5 points. You can't help him any more than that. And then thirdly, we also have customer success, customer service, because these teachers are showing the course in class and they want more information.
Do you have any statistics as to how kids do that do not take your course as opposed to how well kids do that do take your course?
That would be a great science experiment. Look, our average score increase is about 3 points. You mentioned earlier, Mike, that schools on average see a 1 to 3 point increase on their ACT. We have plenty of kids who score 5 and higher, so that we achieve that average. I wish I could set up an experiment like that, Sherry, but put it this way: our clients, they tell their friends, whether their friends are high school principals or superintendents or their buddies on the playground. And if you do a good job, they're going to make sure they know that. If you do a bad job, they're going to make sure their friends know that.
Absolutely.
John,
and parents.
Let me ask you this, because it sounds like, I'm sure there's a wait. Is there a waiting list now? I'm sure that this thing is just taken off for you over these years.
We've got a large classroom that seats plenty. We've occasionally had to add additional sections, but we've got seats.
How many sessions do you do a year?
There are 7 ACTs that are offered annually, and we do live sessions in Lincoln and Omaha prior to 6 of them. Just the July one, we take a little break.
Wow, that is just amazing. As a parent, what I want to know is, I hear the general word scholarships, but do you dig into specific scholarships to target?
Absolutely. We explain the basic formulaic ones, at least locally. I mean, our clients primarily in the live classes are from Nebraska, and they're largely going to go to Nebraska colleges. The South Dakota colleges are quite competitive on price as well. And then you go to other states, you're typically going to pay a premium for that. So for the vast majority of kids, they're trying to get their costs down as much as possible. And that usually means you're going to end up at one of our fabulous 4-year universities and colleges, or 2-year here in the state of Nebraska. And I make that very clear because I'll go speak to a junior class of a high school, and there'll be 150 kids in front of me. And I'll say, what does it cost full price to go to University of Nebraska Kearney? Nobody knows. I mean, what's it cost to buy a used Chevy? Everybody knows. So or what are these games these kids are playing with now all the time? They know what those PlayStations cost, but they don't know what it costs to go to Wayne State full price. And so you've got to make it clear to them, okay, it can be without a discount a little tough on a lot of parents. So let's go to work. Let's grab our lunch pail and go to work and take care of our hardworking parents and make sure they don't have to pay $1, not to mention you have to pay a nickel more than you need to catch your dreams after high school.
Well, I think,
especially these kids that, are like, they have these lofty dreams of, well, I'm going to get out of Nebraska, so I want to go to college in Florida, or I want to go here. I want to go there. Yeah.
Pricey.
Yeah.
We've got fabulous schools here.
Well, no, I know that, but you said they have really no concept of the cost of things. Well, good grief. It's expensive to go in state. Start looking at out of state, guys.
The exception would be is if you're extremely affluent or you qualify for free and reduced lunch. I remember a student from a town right outside of Lincoln 10 years ago, and I do some private college counseling with about 7 kids every year, and she had divorced parents, and she qualified for free and reduced lunch, and so she wanted to go to school out of state. Well, that suddenly becomes very feasible. She's going to qualify with a big score on the ACT or SAT for a lot of scholarship money. Well, we got that score up to a 32, and she ended up at Babson, and it's one of the top colleges in the country. It's the nation's #1 entrepreneurial college.
Wow.
At least it brands itself that way. I just heard from her recently. She's in Denver. She's an accountant, doing great, and it cost her about $7,000 a year to go to one of the top schools in the country right outside of Boston.
John, tell me how, because I heard you talk about this quite a bit, and I'm sure there's a lot of components here. How do you get to work with, or I'm trying to phrase it correctly for you. How do you team up with the educators and the schools to work together seamlessly is what I'm trying to say
We make the course as unintrusive as possible. so that they only have to interrupt their English, math, reading, and social studies class minimally. You can do all of the English in 6 45-minute class periods. You can do all the math in 8. You can do all the science in 4. You can do all of the reading in 4 class periods. That's not just the instruction, but all the supporting online quizzes, online section tests. And so, 4 class periods, and suddenly the kid's ready to go for the reading section on the ACT with an average score increase of, anywhere from, around 2 points. So that's what we try to make it as easy as possible, because these teachers jealously guard their instruction time. And we also make it clear to them, we're also satisfying state standards through our course. So it's really complementing you. And we also make it clear, hey, for better or for worse, schools are judged in part by what their scores are. And so let's make sure on test day that Billy, rather than suffering from amnesia, delivers and gets these questions right based on all the great information and teaching you've poured into them all these months leading up to the test. So when they see that, hey, we're there to really help with school morale, help with the image of the school, community support for the school, and the futures of these kids they care so much about, usually they embrace it.
Well, I'm real curious. I want to jump back into your business plan. How do you do all this? How do you get this out there? You've got to keep pounding the drum.
Well, you've got to get to these education shows and heighten awareness of our product. You've got to do a really good job so that those high school principals and superintendents will share the happy news about the score impact and the cultural impact of On to College with their peers. But yeah, it's competitive, and education dollars are finite, and you've really got to persuade them, hey, this is worth the investment. This is how you change their futures. But especially outside Nebraska, no one's, for the most part, heard of John Baylor, certainly when I started.
When you say competitive, what do you mean? Like there's a lot of businesses doing this?
Well, there's a lot of businesses in educational technology. There's a lot of vendors trying to get the attention of these high school principals and these superintendents. There are other test prep companies. There's not many that are in our space where we serve entire schools, not just serving the affluent, but serving all students, because this is so transformative, especially for lower income kids. But, we do have competition, and you have to also make it clear to these high school principals and superintendents what's in it for them. Everything they do is to serve the kids. Fine. What's in it for you? Well,
correct.
Higher scores make everything better.
They do make things better. Well, John, that's from a business standpoint, what makes the difference? What makes On to College different than the rest?
Well, I think I have a little bit to do with that.
Exactly.
I figuratively jump through the screen and try to motivate these kids. You've got to be an entertainer. And so that's part of it.
I see from Harrison, we need to take a break. We'll talk more with John Baylor on that entertainment question in just a minute. We'll be right back.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
If you want to make new floor shopping easier, come to O Street Carpet. Hi, I'm Steve Carper. Our flooring professionals can help you choose the best flooring for you, your family, and your budget. We eliminate the confusion. Even better, you'll be enjoying your new flooring much sooner. No 6 or 8 week waits. We'll install right away and save you money on installation. Floor shopping made easy every day at O Street Carpet. O Street Carpet. 1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Imagine starting your day with a computer glitch that leaves you feeling stuck, frustrated, and unable to get your work done. You have 1,000,001 things to get done today, and waiting for the tech issue to solve itself isn't one of them. It's time to let Hamilton handle the tech so you don't have to. We help businesses across the state spend more time on what they do best and less time frustrated with office technology. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we're focused on providing custom solutions that set you up for success us now and in the future. Connect with us today at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Mike, the insurance company wants us to replace the roof.
Wait, what? I thought everything was fine.
Yeah, it says right here our roof is too old and they won't be able to cover us anymore.
I guess it is 15 years old. Hi, I'm Austin with Roofing Service Company. We help homeowners with their roofing and siding projects. Financing options are available, and we can get you under a new roof no time at all. If this sounds like you, visit roofingservicecompany.com. That is roofingservicecompany.com.
Why are some people more successful? Is it talent and determination, or did they recognize an opportunity? Discover a career that lets you help families reach their financial goals as you build lasting professional relationships. One with unlimited income potential. From Modern Woodman, a leading fraternal financial services provider.
I'm Modern Woodman Regional Director Sean Erickson. Call me at 402-483-6515 to learn about career opportunities.
Modern Woodman of America. Touching lives, securing futures.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
This is Bill Mitchner, Executive Director of Lincoln Lighthouse. Did you know Lighthouse provides multiple programs for students such as one-on-one tutoring and mentoring, as well as pro-social skill exercises, while providing them a nourishing meal and a safe space during all months of the year, even during school breaks? Learn more or contribute to Lighthouse at lincolnlighthouse.org today.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here of HuskerOnline.com, inviting you to join us here on 93.7 The Ticket every Saturday morning now. In our new time, we're on from 8 to 9 with the weekly Husker Online radio show. We'll give you the latest in recruiting. We'll talk about what's going on with both football, basketball, and we'll probably share a few stories from the inside. It's every Saturday morning right here on 93.7 The Ticket. It's the Husker Online radio show from 8 to 9 a.m.
Back to What's Next 24 from the 93.7 The Ticket studio with the authors of Next 24.
Welcome back in. Final segment, What's Next 24, with the host, as always, Mike and Sherry.
Thanks, Harrison. We are back with our guest today, Mr. John Baylor. We're talking about his big program on to college. However, I have an apology to make, and we have been very remiss to do this whole show, and we're getting towards the end of it. We also need to add that today he brought his beautiful wife, Susan, with him, and she has been, I'm sure, a big supporter of all of this. She told us in between breaks, she sat at the kitchen table and put booklets together for this. So kudos to her, and we're glad to have her on the show. And she's got some accomplishments in her own right, and we might have to invite her back on the show, and John might have to sit in the other chair.
I love it.
We would love that, Susan. Thank you very much.
Yes, we're glad that you came today.
Amazing art teacher.
Yes. John,
well,
I know,
and you couldn't do what you do without her.
No question.
I'm just going to say it for you.
John, I know you're very passionate about everything you've done. I've watched you for many, many years of what you do, whether it be at KLIN Radio, through your acting career that you talked about you wanted to do, the banking business, and then you talk about dream catching. Well, you had dreams too, and it seems like this was one of your dreams that you wanted to build and create.
I just knew at the end of my life I wanted people to think John Baylor made a difference. John Baylor made things better. How that would look, I just didn't know. I was never particularly motivated by money. I just wanted to make an impact and then make sure it was full of purpose and relationships, and teaching just
leave a
grabbed
legacy.
me. Yeah.
Well, I like what you said earlier, that that you are the face of this program, which makes the difference. So you're fun. You bring so much fun and joy to you. And not only in that, in your volleyball and your broadcasting career, and again, being voted Nebraska Sportscaster of the Year by your peers, you're becoming a treasure here in the Lincoln area. Even though you may not accept that, I will say that.
Thank you,
John.
But winning that award, there's a lot of amazing broadcasters that you are in good company with. One of them is my good close old, Webbs, my close old friend Dave Weber. And you are just in such good company.
I agree.
When I saw that you won that, I was just like over the moon, going, "Oh my God, this is so cool! Yay,
yeah,
John!"
John, I want to make sure before we finish here to make sure, are your classes full? Can people sign up?
People can sign up on to college.com. Our classes for the February test begin 2 weeks from tonight. Test is February 14th. Valentine's Day. It's not just for romance. It's also for jumping that score.
That's
and
great.
Then there's a April test, and there's a June test, and then fall for seniors. You got September, October, and December. And don't retire from taking tests until you get that 36, or you have the maximum scholarship the college you want to attend will give you, because you jump your score 2 or 3 points. That could be another $3,000 a year times 4 years.
And if parents have questions, not only get onto the website, but can they call? Is there a phone number to call? And how do they do that as well?
402-475-PREP. I almost gave out my cell number. 402
Give it out, John.
475-PREP 7737 ontocollege.com. And these websites have all the information there, but feel free to give us a call.
We've got a few minutes, John. I'm going to ask you, we always turn the mic over to you. What would you like to say to the community and parents?
Well, thank you for all your support all these years. This was never a master plan to be this entrepreneur of a company with 20 employees, independent contractors that make an impact across the country. But it's really gratifying to be able to walk into a gymnasium, speak to an entire school, and you can sense that they're not particularly engaged. And then next thing you know, you're teaching them and they're engaged, and their overall high school score goes up 1.5, 2 points. And to do that, that means that 25% of those kids are jumping 3 or more points, and that's life-changing. I'll distill this anecdote. A high school principal said at a small town, Osceola, that a farmer walked in one day and said, I heard you brought in this ACT prep program. And he said, yeah. And the farmer started crying. He said, well, we didn't know how we were going to pay for college, and now my daughter can go to UNK for free. So that doesn't happen every day. I don't want to claim that happens every day, but it's kind of beautiful image of a farmer walking in.
Well, let's focus on you focus on others. Let's focus on you, John. What's next for you?
Well, I want to grow this business and make a bigger impact, because I think there's so many kids who are distracted, disengaged, and missing out, and they're going to pay a price for it. Whereas if they just engage and do the best they can in school and on the ACT, they're going to be able to catch their dreams. Our teachers deserve it. It's the most important vocation in our culture. And these teachers are not respected like they should be. And so everyone's going to win culturally. And we just need to get back to this ethic that respects education. And we desperately need it for our country, for our economy, and for the futures of our kids. It's a bright future out there, but discipline, self-discipline equals destiny. You got to dig in and do the work.
Well, very good. With that, John, thank you so much. On to college.com. I would recommend it, strongly recommend it. We get to that. And are you excited for volleyball season to start again?
They'll all be back.
Yay!
They'll all be back.
Yes.
It'll be back. I think
It won't be the same if you don't.
All right.
Thank you.
With that, we'll finish up. Thank you. We'll see you next week.
Change begins with you. Join a weight loss medication study at Solarion and earn cash in the process. If you are 19 to 65 years old with excess weight to lose, you may qualify. Participants could earn up to $22,000